Phase 1. The hook. There is a sickness of the soul that all of us have felt. It begins as a heat behind the eyes when you are wronged, a tightening in the chest. It's a quiet whisper that says, they cannot get away with this. It promises justice, but it only feeds on your peace. I call it the Avenger's sickness. It is the conviction that your pain grants you the right to cause pain in return. It is the illusion that by balancing the scales with a heavier stone, you will finally find your footing. But you are not balancing the scales. You are merely adding your own weight to the side of suffering, and it is you who will be crushed beneath it. In this meditation, we will not learn how to win a fight. We will learn how to win the war before the first battle is ever fought. We will learn how to find the courage, not to draw the sword, but to say, with the full weight of your soul, I will not use this. The scene transitions to a close-up of hands, calloused and scarred, gripping the hilt of a Viking sword. The knuckles are white. The shot lingers, then the hands slowly, deliberately, release their grip. Phase 2. The problem, you felt it, haven't you? That hot rush of indignation that floods your senses when someone belittles your work, questions your integrity, or wounds your pride. The insult, whether a careless word from a loved one or a deliberate slight from a rival, echoes in the chambers of your mind. You replay the moment, again and again. In these silent rehearsals, you are always faster, sharper. You craft the perfect retort, the one that will cut them down, expose their foolishness, and leave you standing victorious on the battlefield of that small, bitter memory. You tell yourself it's about justice. About standing up for yourself. You feel a profound, almost sacred sense of righteousness. This is not mere anger, it is a holy fire. You have been provoked, and a response is not just an option, it is a duty. Perhaps it's a conflict at your place of work. A colleague takes credit for your idea. The Avenger's sickness whispers, expose them. Humiliate them in the next meeting. Make them pay. So you spend your nights composing emails, gathering evidence, fueling the fire. Your work suffers, your sleep thins, your world shrinks until it is composed of nothing but this single, burning injustice. Or maybe it's closer to home. A family argument where old wounds are reopened with a thoughtless phrase. The sickness tells you, they hurt you. Hurt them back. Bring up their past failures. Use their insecurities against them. Win, and so you do. You land the killing blow, and a stunned silence fills the room. You have won the argument. But the cost is a chasm of resentment that may take years to fill, if ever. This is the hidden cost of the Avenger's sickness. You believe you are fighting an external enemy, the colleague, the rival, the family member. But the true battle is internal, and you are losing. The poison you so carefully prepare for your enemy, you are forced to carry in your own hands. It seeps into your skin. Your obsession with their wrongdoing becomes the architecture of your own prison. You are no longer living your life. You are merely a character in a bitter play, forever tied to the one who wronged you. Your enemy now dictates the course of your days and the quality of your nights. In your quest for revenge, you have given them the ultimate power over you, control of your inner peace. The sickness promises to restore what was taken from you, but it only takes more, until all that is left is the hollow shell of a person, forever defined by a wound that they refused to let heal. Visuals shift to an animated, painterly sequence. A young boy with blonde hair is shown, his eyes wide with admiration as he watches his father, a giant of a man, speak. Then, the boy is older, his face twisted in rage, wielding daggers in a frenzy of violence. The colors are dark and chaotic. Phase 3. Solution. To understand the cure for this sickness, we must turn to the story of a man who was consumed by it, who gave his entire life to it, and who found nothing but ashes at the end of his quest. His name is Thorfinn, son of Thors. His story is a Norse epic, a saga of blood and steel. As a child, he witnessed the murder of his father, a man who had forsaken the way of the warrior for a life of peace. That single moment of violence ignited in Thorfinn a fire that would burn for more than a decade. His entire purpose, the very reason for his existence, was to become strong enough to kill the man who killed his father. He lived for it, he trained for it, he dreamed of it. And when the moment finally came, when he had his hated enemy cornered and helpless, he found himself empty. The kill he had spent his life chasing offered him nothing. The fire that had driven him for so long went out, leaving him in a cold, dark void. He had achieved his life's purpose, and it had destroyed him. It was in the embers of this ruin, as a broken slave tilling the soil on a distant farm, that Thorfinn discovered the profound philosophy that would redefine his life. It is a philosophy that serves as our guide out of the cycle of conflict. We can break it down into 3 principles. First, acknowledge the emptiness of revenge. Revenge is a ghost story you tell yourself. It's a narrative that promises a satisfying final chapter where the villain is punished and you are vindicated. But life is not a story. Inflicting pain does not erase the pain you received. It is like trying to quench a thirst by drinking salt water. The act of vengeance does not heal your wound, it only makes you a person who wounds others. Thorfinn learned that the destination he had been running towards his entire life was a barren wasteland. The first step to healing is to stop believing in the fantasy of restorative violence. Second, find the human in your enemy. In the depths of his slavery, Thorfinn was forced to work alongside another man, Einar. Einar's family had been slaughtered by Vikings just like Thorfinn. He hated them. Yet, day after day, he worked with Thorfinn, saw his nightmares, his pain, his humanity. He began to see not a monster, but a broken man. This is the second key. The Avenger's sickness requires you to dehumanize your target. It flattens a complex, flawed human being into a 2-dimensional villain. To do this is to rob the hatred of its fuel. You realize the arrow that struck you was likely fired by a person who is, in their own way, just as wounded and lost as you are. Third, and most importantly, a true warrior needs no sword. This was the creed of Thorfinn's father, Thors, a man so powerful he was known as the Troll of Jung. He was the greatest warrior of his age, yet he abandoned violence because he understood a deeper truth. His strength was not in his ability to kill, but in his ability to choose not to. This is the final, most profound principle. The ultimate expression of strength is not escalation, but de-escalation. It is the active, conscious, and difficult choice to absorb a blow rather than return it. It is to stand firm like a great oak in a storm, allowing the wind to rage and pass, while you remain rooted in your own peace. Think of conflict as a fire. The instinct, the sickness, is to fight fire with fire. You throw more fuel on it, more anger, more accusations, more insults. The fire grows, consuming everything, including you. The philosophy Thorfinn discovered is to become like water. Or stone. It is to refuse to be fuel. It requires immense discipline to stand your ground and not react, to let the flames of another person's rage burn themselves out against the calm certainty of your own self-control. This is not passivity. It is not weakness. It is the highest form of spiritual warfare. It is the mastery of the self, which is the only victory that truly matters. The visuals become more grounded and practical. We see shots of a person writing in a journal, walking through a quiet forest, and looking at their own reflection in a still body of water. The tone is instructional. Phase 4. The application this philosophy of the unsheathed sword is not merely a beautiful idea. It is a practical strategy for navigating the conflicts of your own life. It requires training, just like any martial art. Here are 4 exercises to practice. 1. The strategic pause. When you are struck by an insult or an injustice, your nervous system is hijacked. Adrenaline floods your body. Your heart rate quickens. Your mind narrows. This is the moment the Avenger's sickness takes root. Your first act of defiance is to create space. Do not respond. Do not type the angry email. Do not make the cutting remark. Impose upon yourself a mandatory waiting period. It could be 10 seconds. It could be an hour. It could be a day. In this space, you reclaim your freedom. The initial impulse to retaliate is a chemical reaction, not a reasoned choice. The pause allows the chemicals to subside and your higher mind to come back online. Use this time to simply breathe. Feel the air enter your lungs and leave your body. Feel your feet on the ground. This small act of mindfulness is an anchor in the storm of your emotions. It is the moment you decide whether you will be a slave to your anger or its master. 2. Write the enemy's story. This is a difficult exercise in cognitive empathy. Take a piece of paper. On one side, write down your story of what happened. Describe the injustice, the pain, the anger. Be honest. Do not hold back. Then, turn the paper over. Now, you must write the story from the other person's perspective. You must inhabit their mind. What were they thinking? What were they feeling? Do not write a caricature of a villain. Force yourself to find a plausible, human motivation for their actions. Were they afraid of looking incompetent? Were they acting out of a deep-seated insecurity you know nothing about? Were they simply having a terrible day and you were the unfortunate target of their frustration? You are not doing this to forgive them. You are not doing it to excuse their behavior. You are doing it to break the spell of righteous fury that holds you captive. By seeing their humanity, you loosen the grip of your own hatred. 3. Identify your sword. Thorfinn's weapons were daggers. Yours are likely different. Your sword might be a sharp, sarcastic tongue. It might be the silent treatment, a cold wall of passive aggression. It might be gossip, the subtle poisoning of someone's reputation behind their back. It might be a meticulously crafted social media post designed to win the approval of the crowd. You must identify your weapon of choice. Be brutally honest with yourself. What is the tool you instinctively reach for when you feel attacked? Name it. Write it down. Look at it. This act of naming is an act of power. Once you have identified your sword, you can make a conscious pact with yourself. The next time you feel the urge to draw it, you will see it for what it is, not a tool of justice, but a tool of escalation. And you will choose, deliberately, to leave it in its sheath. 4. Define your Vinland. In the saga, Vinland is a promised land, a peaceful, fertile place across the sea, free from war and slavery. It is a symbol of a better world. For Thorfinn, the dream of building this new world becomes his new purpose, replacing his old purpose of revenge. You must do the same. Ask yourself, what is my Vinland? What is the ultimate goal of my life? Is it a life of peace? Of meaningful relationships? Of creative work? Of inner tranquility? Define it with as much clarity as possible. This is your true north. Now, when you find yourself in a conflict, you have a new way to measure your actions. Ask yourself, will escalating this fight, will winning this argument, will hurting this person move me closer to my Vinland, or will it drag me further away from it? The answer will almost always be clear. A momentary victory in a petty skirmish is never worth sacrificing progress on the long journey to the land you truly want to live in. Your Vinland is the reason you keep your sword sheathed. The scene returns to the painterly style. We see Thorfinn, now a man, standing before a group of hardened warriors. He is unarmed. One of them begins to punch him. Thorfinn does not flinch, does not raise his hands. He simply endures, his face a mask of resolve. Phase 5. The proof. Does this path truly work? Or is it simply a noble fantasy, a beautiful way to be trampled by the world? The proof lies in Thorfinn's greatest moment of strength, which the world would see as his greatest moment of weakness. To save another, he makes a deal. He will withstand 100 punches from a powerful warrior without fighting back. He stands there, a living shield, and takes every blow. His friend Einar watches in horror and disbelief, begging him to fight, to use the skills he knows Thorfinn possesses. But Thorfinn understands something Einar does not. Violence would have been the easy path. Fighting back would have proven nothing, except that he was still the same broken boy, slave to the same cycle. By absorbing the violence, by refusing to participate, he performs an act of almost superhuman will. He is not being passive, he is actively demonstrating a new kind of power. He is breaking the circuit of retribution. And it works. His act of endurance shatters the resolve of his attackers. It transforms the heart of his friend, Einar, who finally understands the meaning of true strength. Thorfinn loses the fight, but he wins the war for his own soul, and in doing so, he changes the world around him. This is not just the stuff of sagas. In its place, you are seizing absolute control over the one thing you can truly command: yourself. The person who remains calm in the eye of the storm does not control the storm, but they are its master. For they have chosen not to become it. Final shot. A beautiful, serene landscape at dawn. The light is soft and golden. A sword is shown, not in a hand, but laid down in the grass, dew collecting on its steel blade. It is an object at rest, its purpose fulfilled by its disuse. Phase 6. The call to action. The world will always provide you with a reason to draw your sword. The provocations are endless. The challenge is not to vanquish every enemy, but to cultivate the inner peace that makes the battle unnecessary. So I ask you to reflect on this. In the comments below, tell me about a time you chose not to fight back. A time you sheathed your sword, whether it was a harsh word or a vengeful act. What did that choice cost you in the moment, and what did it gain you in the end? The stories we share become the maps for those who walk this path behind us. If these are the ideas that stir your soul, if this is the difficult but rewarding path you wish to walk, then join our stead. Subscribe to the Farmland Preacher and continue this journey with us. The choice to lay down your sword is the beginning, not the end. Once your hands are empty, you face a new and greater question. What will you build? To begin to answer that, you must watch our video on the burden of a true warrior. What to do after the war is over. It is the next step on the path to finding your Vinland.